Good morning. Before we start, just a few quick housekeeping items. All attendees, they're going to be a listen-only mode. We do encourage you submit questions. There is a chat window that please submit your questions as we go. At the end of the webinar, we're going to take a look at these questions or we're going to follow up directly with you. Lastly, at the end of today's webinar, we will share the QR code link to our feedback survey. This is your chance to influence our content. It's 4 quick questions, less than a minute to complete. Many thanks in advance for participating. Now, we're just going to wait for a few seconds and then we're going to get started for today's session. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of Team Canada's Tech Thursdays. My name is Wael Nwesri. I am a sales engineer with WatchGuard Canada, and today we're going to be talking about the power of zero trust and the line of products that we have from Panda. In today's agenda, we're going to be covering Partner Center Portal, where we're gonna discover how we can create clients accounts, how to manage licensing and trials, the global settings that you can apply from the point of view of a partner or service provider over to your clients. We're also going to be talking about add-on modules where in part one of the previous session, we covered AD360. Today, we're going to talk more in details about the add-on modules that you can use for your security, such as patch management, encryption, and advanced reporting tool. And at the end, we're going to take a glance at WatchGuard RMM, which is called system management. So let's get started here. Let's take a look first here at the Partner Center portal. So this is one of the things that you're going to be using as a service provider or a partner, where you can actually do the customer management. You're going to create the customers by yourself whenever that's needed. You're going to have a full visibility of all the customers. You will have the license lifecycle management where you can actually assign the demo or trial licenses to the customers, assign the real licenses to the customers, and also manage the renewing of the licenses from that console. Some other things that you can do with the Partner Center is related to security management. So the ability to access customers' consoles from one location. Whenever that you need to go into a specific information or configuration related to that client. The ability is to centrally create and manage security policies on a global level, and after that, you can apply it to one or more clients as needed. The ability to take actions remotely, and also to customize the customers and management console as needed. All of this is going to happen from a single web-based console available anywhere at any time. So how the partner center journey is going to look like. As you can see in here, at the beginning is related to the license model. I'm not going to cover that. It's something that it's related more into sales, but mainly you're going to choose the license model that you want that fits your business needs as needed, where we have volume-based subscriptions, monthly subscription, auto pay, MSSP commands points, and so on. Once that you have these licenses available in your pool, then you can go to the end user creation. So with just a couple of steps, which is I'm going to show you later on the demo, that you can create a new client and you can manage the client from there. Then you're going to do the license assignment where you're going to assign the trials, or if they're already happy with the trial or they want to buy the product, you can assign the license from there. You can renew the license. You can auto renew the license as needed. Also, you can do the security management, which is a very important portion of this license portal, where you can manage the clients by aggregate security view. So you can create a global configuration that you can apply to multiple clients as needed. Then you have the security governance, where centralized product policy profiles to easily replicate the end user settings, so that you can copy this, configuration or profiles. If it works with one client and you want to copy it to another one, you can schedule customized reports and so on. So make sure that you have your security governance up to date. Then the main idea definitely of having all of that to simplify it for you so that you can sell more and use more. You can do the upgrade, the upsell, cross sell to different products from Panda product line, such as, if you're going to with the AV or with the AD360 and adding the other modules that we're going to be talking about today. Some key features in here is related to the license pool. So you can actually store, assign, and reclaim licenses from that pool. Different modules that you can add modules to existing products that using a trial or commercial license that they already want to buy. The license changes that you can renew up to 1 year ahead of time. You can increase the licenses without changing the expiration date from the partner portal. One of the things that I just wanted to remind you here, this is something that I talked about in part one of this series, the different modules that we have from AD360 and so on, that it's related to Ether platform. So here it's starting with the endpoint protection. This is similar to your the antivirus. And then you have the endpoint protection plus, which is your antivirus plus web browsing category-based monitoring and filtering, as well as more security for Exchange Server. Then we have the AD360, which is the adaptive defense plus your antivirus. So you have both your EPP and EDR in one product. And then on the top of it, you can purchase the ART, which is advanced reporting tool. We're going to talk about it a little bit later in this session. Also, you have the patch management, which is one of the security tools that's available for you, as well as for the encryption, that you can have full disk encryption, that it can be managed, monitored from the same location. Great, so let's take a look now at this partner center and what we can do with it. Okay, so let's take a look now at the Partner Center. This is actually the screen that you're going to see once that you logged in into your account. You'll see that you have the Partner Center in there. You have the other things that relate to the system management, but our focus now is going to be the Partner Center. So once that you click on there, that you will have um, multiple things that you can do. One of the things that you notice here at the top, that we have different tabs: status, client, settings, and reports. We're going to start with the status here, that you can see all the licenses that's available for you as a partner. So you can see 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Trial is available for sure, that you can assign as needed. We have here, you can click on show all, you can see all the components, but mainly what we talked about is the Adaptive Defense 360. You have the system management as one of the options. You have the patch management, full encryption, advanced reporting tool that it can be added as a license. One of the things that you will notice here is Fusion and Fusion 360 here, right? Actually these just a bundle, a licensing bundle, that it's related to if you want to have AD360 plus the RMM tool in there or not. Other information that's available for you, as you can see, that what are the licenses going to expire or expire soon over the 60 days. And if you click here, more information, it's going to download the information in Excel sheet format, where you can actually send it to somebody, or you can take a look at it and find out, okay, this is the client. I have only one client in here, but the number of licenses that's available for each of these components, like the 360 or advanced reporting and so on, when the expiry date, and I can see that there is no automatic renewal set for this specific client. Also, you notice here that it's telling you that API-based products are disabled 7 days after they expire, leaving the computers unprotected. So that's the grace period. If you click on more information, it will take you into more details about what we mean by that. But mainly, you have 7 days grace period once the license is expired for the end user, and you have to either auto renew it or add a new license. Other things that you can see in here is the license assignment history. This is a very nice feature that you can see, what is the component, the period that is being assigned to which client in there, and if it is manually assigned or it was actually automatically assigned or renewed. You can export it here to Excel format in case that's what you need. Going back here to status, definitely one of the important things is creation of the clients. But also before that, you have groups in here. You can, let's say that you have multiple brands that belongs to the same client. Then you can create one group in there, and you can have, one account per, brand, right? Um, or if you have a specific area, let's say that you have, Canada East, Canada West, and you want to do it that way, then you can create group in there. If you want to create group of clients or sites for clients, then you can come here to clients, and you can create client groups from there. And as you can see, for me, I created one just, for example, for Halifax. If I want to, add under it, then I can add, a new group under that specific location, right? Or that I can create one that it is totally different. There's one there that it comes there by default whenever the account that is being created at the beginning. So going back here to the status, let's see that if I want to create a new client, what I can do. So definitely I can click here on add client. It's gonna ask you here, what's the company name? So we're gonna give it a name, let's say Skyliner, and we can give a comment about it. We can give the, email in here. Their phone number, right? The language that is going to be used, the country that they belong to. Say that we're going to put that to Canada, part of Ontario, and then I can put this city here. Okay. Definitely you can set the rest of the address in here, Main Street, and then you have the contact person that you want to have, Alex Smith, and their position in that company. If it's a CEO, a director, technician, right? Let's say that he's going to be the department director. Click next. Then it's going to tell you which group that you want this client to be added to. Let's say that I want to add it to this Halifax one, then, or since it is Toronto, let's say that it is under WatchGuard test. Then it's going to ask you what are the products that you want to add. So this is one of the things that you're going to do, even if the client now he doesn't want to buy, but he wants just to try, then you can click here on try license, or that if they want to buy, then you're going to go with the commercial license. Let's say now they want to try something, and I go with a try license, and I can put here endpoint protection, can a AD360, Fusion, system management. Let's say that they want Adaptive Defense 360. If I do that, you notice that here it will add the quantity as 100. I can add additional modules if they want to add that. Please note that this is something you can come back to later in case that they said, oh, I want only Adaptive Defense 360 now, and after 10 days they come and say, you know what, I want to see the others too. Then you can, click on patch management and advanced reporting, full encryption. So it will tell you here what's going to happen when it comes to when it's going to start and when it's going to end for this specific client, right? Then I'm going to click here on Add Client. That's the time that's going to ask you, do you want to centralize management for this or not, right? Mainly here, if you want to do centralized management, so this option, if you want to apply this client's Adaptive Defense 360 settings, it's going to be centrally managed from the partner center, right? If you want just to, sell them the product, you want the account to be there, but they're going to manage their own account, then you can go with no centrally managed. But now let's say that I want it centrally managed, so because I will have some global configuration that I want to apply to this specific client. You can change, at any time. The end user also, if they have the ability to say that, yeah, I am not, centrally managed anymore, in case they want to take over. So I'm going to add this client now. It's going to take a few seconds in here to add it to the portal. Once it's done, you'll see that, as I said, there are some of the things that you can do from there, including that when it comes to, if you want to add more trials, when it comes to the patch management or other modules. Also, when it comes to other services, if they decided you want to buy it. Right. So you can see here, it's already created that. Alex Smith is department director. They have these, options when it comes to Adaptive Defense 360, centrally managed, and these are trial modules that is available in there. If later on I want to delete the client, they don't want to buy, they don't have any communication with them anymore, I can delete from here. I can add product from here. So again, trial license, right? Or that I can go to commercial license now and say, okay, if I have that definitely in my pool as a service provider or partner, then I can say, okay, for system management, for example, how many that I want to give them for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and so on. Okay. So one of the things that you notice now, I have two of these clients in there. From here, you can see what is the type of the license. So R is release, T is going to be trial. If I hover over it, at any time, I can see all the details that's related to what are the licenses being contracted, when they're going to be ended, if there's any outdated protection in there, any computers that is being discovered, the licenses that is being used. All that information is available for you in here. Other things that it can be done in here that definitely you can do the configuration for automatic renewal of licenses. So you can see in here, like for example, for AD360, by default is do not automatically renew, but you can change that behavior to 1 year, 2 year, 2 year, or 3 year licenses, depending on service level agreement or the agreement or the contract that you have with the end users. Other things is related to the settings. This one is important because when you work on it as a service provider, you do the configuration for the security or other configuration that's related to multiple clients. Then, for example, if you want to dictate how the behavior of the updates, you want to enable all updates, disable them for protection only, knowledge only, collecting the information, but no, any kind of database update, then you can do that on one or more group that belongs to that, or clients that belongs to a specific group. But if I go back here, to the rest of the configurations, this is something that I mentioned before when I was talking about the AD360 demo that I did in part one, where I showed all the configuration that you can do from there. And I mentioned that you can do that from a global level. So when I come here, it's going to open another tab where I can do some kind of a golden template depending on what I want to do. Currently, it will show you what are the different clients that I have. There's two of them. There's nothing that is being done yet. They didn't even start their trial, but there's, I can see the advanced protection in there, the antivirus for BrightPath, the protection if it's up to date or not. So and also if I click here on settings, it will give me kind of global view of the configuration. And the only one that it has actually kind of this configuration settings that's coming from the service provider is the Halifax client. But the rest of them, I don't have any configuration for them. I can have a global one. I can have one that it is specific to a specific group. And I will show you how this can be done. For example, now we are under workstation and servers. If I click here on add, I have to do the configuration that it's like for example, if I want to enable local alerts, updates, I can go to advanced protection in here, and I can change the mode from hardening to lock, for example. I can change things that's related to the antivirus configuration, the firewall on Windows machines, and so on. And once that I am satisfied with it, definitely I can give it a new name here. Let's say this is the test all, right? Currently, it is not assigned to any group of clients or one client. I'm going to save it first, and then I can go back to it, and I can say I want to assign it to a specific group in here. Kind of click here, and I'll say that I want to assign it to the one that we just created. Add. Right. So this is now the configuration is going to be inherited from a global level. It's the same thing that you can do when it comes, for example, if you want to customize the colors, if you want to set what is the programs that you want to block for everyone or for a specific group of clients, authorized software, patch management configuration, encryption configuration, all of that, you can do it from a global level in here. Okay. So this is when it comes to the partner center. The last thing that I just want to say here, that also you can copy the configuration profiles from one client to another in case that you create for one client and you want to copy it to another client. So when it comes to the configuration, you don't need to start from scratch. But also, let's say that for this partner center, you want to create another administrator in your company as a service provider, then you can go to users, add user, and then it will tell you what is the login email, confirm that email, and then the permission, total control, or for just licensing and security administrator, or just monitoring. It depends on which client group that you want to assign this administrator to. Okay, so this is when it comes to the partner or partner center. Um, One of the important things also that you can access these individual configuration for each of these clients from here. So if I click on this, it's going to take me here to access this configuration of the dashboard that is related to that client. Okay, so that was when it comes to the partner portal. Okay, so since we took a look at the partner center, we can also take a look at the patch management as an add-on module. Why patch management? Why do we need patch management? Definitely because software without updates compromise overall security. And before, when it comes to patch management, it's used to be an added kind of feature. But now it is a must that you have it, because a lot of these vulnerabilities that comes from internet attacks target vulnerabilities in installed software, right? They are trying to find out what are the exploits that is available within the products that you have. It's either that is going to be Windows as operating system, or that it's related to a third-party product that it will increase the vulnerabilities and vulnerabilities to infection. As you can see, we definitely WannaCry. It's one of the main causes of issues that a lot of companies and a lot of service providers suffer from, where it it attacked hospitals, banks, businesses around the world, and definitely, main idea here is we try to um, patch whatever that product that we have before that the hacker use this specific vulnerability to attack our network or protect, our servers. So why Panda Patch Management? Mainly because you can do multiple tasks with only one agent. So one of the things definitely when you have the patch management, you're going to pay for the licensing for it, but you don't need to do anything when it comes to the agent. The agent is going to be the same one that you already deployed. It just you're going to change this configuration in the cloud, and then the agent will actually also scan for the computers for any type of patches that it's required. It's either it can be Windows operating system or it can be something that's related to third party. Also, it has the intelligence that the update all versions of Windows, all these third-party applications, the assessment and planning where we can check software affected depending on the patch severity and so on. We can apply the patches on the test computer before pushing it to the rest of the organization. We can generate the rules for automatic patching with exceptions, as well as the idea that you can have tasks that you can apply them in a specific maintenance window. The deployment, you can update the hundreds of these and also thousands in case that you have thousands of computers in real time with automatic management of the patch, interdependency, and also when it comes to the controlling the computer restart in case that if it is needed. The other module that we have that you can add on is the encryption. So when it comes to the encryption, why it's important, right? Because data can be lost for many reasons when it comes to your laptops, desktops, and servers. Any one of these, medias can be affected. The loss or theft of laptops, especially when they are off premises, and a lot of people working from home now, or they are, traveling with it, it could be lost. Theft from offices of servers and PCs, also the reuse of undeleted disks in case of that you don't have a policy on how to deal with that, the loss of computers in transit as well. Now, the laptop theft is actually far more common than you think. According to Gartner, a laptop is stolen every 53 seconds, and because of the importance of the data that we have on these laptops nowadays, and a lot of things and applications that is stored on the endpoint, this data breaches it could actually cost you more than 49,000 at any time or that you lose such information. So when we talk about Panda full encryption features, first of all, it's based on BitLocker. So native OS tool and therefore mature, reliable, and with guaranteed support and performance. It's not something new. Something that already a lot of clients that is being using. The supported platforms, it's going to be Windows 7, 8, 10, Server 2008, R2, and later. Except for server core editions for sure. The authentication types supported, we have TPM plus PIN. You can go with only TPM. You have the USB devices. You can use passphrase. Just for your information, TPM stands for Trusted Platform Module. So it is a chip. This is why it is not present in all computers, and it depends, if it is available or not. It enables the storage of the password and also prevents the software attacks that it's happened through memory, access attacks. So what are the benefits of Panda full encryption? The prevention of theft, loss, or unauthorized access for sure. The data is going to be encrypted and cannot be accessed without the password. And based on the native encryption feature of the operating system itself, so definitely it will ensure the compatibility and the performance. The storage of the recovery key required of the event when you forgot the password, hardware changes in the boot sequence. So this is very important. That it's going to be in one dashboard in the cloud where you can have the password in case that you want the keys to be used. reduce costs in the event of the data breach due to the loss or theft of disks for sure, and support for data protection regulation compliance. This is a very important one because nowadays, if you have specific environment that it needs a compliance with standards, you could be asked, to encrypt to the data at rest, and also your laptops and servers. Very important thing whenever that you add any add-on modules is to have a centralized management, right? So you can definitely do all the configuration from the Ether platform, where you can ability to centrally enforce all the encryption policies from there. And as I mentioned before, you have a simple installation without extra costs because it's a single agent. It's already deployed. If you have 8360, let's say now, and it's been deployed, you don't need to do anything else on the endpoint to deploy any other agents. It's going to be using the same agent whenever that you decide to add on a module like the encryption or the patch management. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the ATR platform is the advanced reporting tool. It's a tool, actually, it's being used more into forensics, auditing, finding out what's going on into your environment if you want more details. And it is more suited to a larger enterprise and also, service providers that they have a, SOC or a NOC that they want more information that it's going to be, available for them for a year or so. So what is this advanced reporting tool, right? It is a real-time service that is going to leverage the knowledge generated by Adaptive Defense and the AD360 that is being collected. As I mentioned before, that when it comes to the agent, always the telemetry, it's going to be sent to the Panda Cloud. It's going to be stored there, and you can go back to it and find out what happened. Let's say that if you want to go back in time for 6 months, and you have very specific forensics or auditing requirement, then you can do that. So the main aim is to enable the discovery of unknown threats, targeted attacks, and advanced persistent threats that sometimes, even though that you stopped it, but if you want to see the big picture of going back in time and finding out, using specific queries. So what are the benefits of this advanced reporting tool or visualization tool? Number one, that it's going to display the progress of all types of malware that is being detected in your network, and it will tell you whether or not it has been executed in order to facilitate a remedy that to adjust, your security policies. So that sometimes you can use it as a tool to go back and find out if the policies that you're doing for security is working or not. Uh, it's going to list the actions run by each process. This is a very important thing. It's keeping an eye on every process, whether goodware, malware, or unknown, so that you can use this information to reach a conclusion if the amount or the percentage of the risk that you have in your environment. It's going to enable you to visualize the attempts to access confidential information so that you're going to prevent leakage or theft. Locate all the executed program, especially with known vulnerabilities installed on the user's computers. Why we need that? Because that will help to design a plan for updating the software, replacing the software, patching the software in a different way. And also, it's going to help you to visualize the resources and displaying the application that user require most network bandwidth, right? Sometimes you wouldn't know that depending, even when you, for example, creating your policies in the firewall, you would need more visibility of understanding what the applications and the usage of the applications so that you can, from point of view of a priority, which traffic that's going to be a priority. So the main idea here that we have Panda, Adaptive Defense, and Adaptive Defense 360. It's all these enriched events is going to go to the advanced reporting platform where we're going to have all the dashboards, real-time alerts that can be created, contextual data analysis, as well as the idea that you can look at the security incidents analysis, application control, data access control. All of that is going to be part of the advanced reporting tool. Okay, great. Let's take a look now at the product tour. We're gonna take a look at the patch management, the encryption, and also the advanced reporting tool, or ART in short. Okay, let's continue our product tour here. We're going to talk about the patch management, the full encryption and art, and I'll show you just quickly how they look like when it comes to the dashboard. Definitely once that you add the license, it's going to show up in the same dashboard in here. So for example, if I go to patch management, I can see the patch management status, for all the Windows machines that I have. I'll see where it's been enabled, if there is an error installation, if I hover over it, and also if there is no information related to it, there is any error, or there is no license available for that specific one. Also, it will show you here the time since the last check, any of end of life programs that it is related to the software that you have. It's very important information, like what's currently as an end of life, or it's within a year, or with a known end of life date. Also, you can see the available patches depending on the severity, critical, important, low, or unspecified, depending on what operating system. When it comes to Windows, definitely this patch management is for Windows devices for sure. Also, I can see here that I can install the patches as needed, but let's say, for example, if I click in here, view all available patches, or all the 151 patches, it will show you the computer, the group that they belong to, the specific program, the version, and the patch that is being available, when it's being released, and the severity of it. Currently, the installation is being pending, but I can go there directly and install it on that specific device. I can schedule the installation. I can exclude this specific update. I can do other things related to security, like isolate the computer. I can view available patches for a specific computer, this computer, which is Windows Desktop 10. Okay, all of that can be done from here. Going back here also to the patch management, I can see if there is the installation history of the patches, and for example here the programs, when that happened, if it's been installed properly and correctly as needed. Right. Another thing that we can do with the patch management, definitely when it comes to the settings, you can go to the settings and you can go to the patch management, and you can change some of these default settings that's available for you in there. Like for example, if you want to disable all the Windows updates on that computer and always centralize the management of the updates of the patches from this patch management module. Automatically search for the patches on that device, patch critically, so you can search for the criticality, so you can search for the patches with a specific level of severity as needed if you want to change this behavior. And then you can assign it to everyone here, all the devices, or a specific site or a specific group of devices for that client. Now, also, if you go under tasks, you can add a task in here to install patches. And in there, you can put the recipients. You can start as soon as possible, or a specific time if you have a maintenance window. Then you can repeat that every week, every day, or just do it once. You can choose what's the security patch, and also if you want to see the list of third-party patches that we have in here that it's gonna, it's looking for, and also that you can patch from the same module. And also the restarting option, it's very important. You have the option to do not restart automatically for the end users. You can automatically restart the workstations. You can have a different behavior for workstations or servers as needed. Right. So this is when it comes to patch management in a very quick overview. If I go back here to status, also I have the full encryption. Always there's the monitoring and there's the settings that I will show you in a minute. So under the full encryption, I can see the list of all the computers that I have that they've been encrypted, where it's been enabled. There, is there an error that's been disabled or there is no license? How many of them is workstation, a laptop, and a server? And also the encrypted computers here. If it's disk or partially encrypted, all this is going to be definitely a very important information for to monitor whenever that if you are doing that for auditing purposes or for security purposes. But let's say that I want to see all the list of the enabled one and that's working, everything is fine with them. You can see the list in there. I can actually copy this list if I want, or the status of it. I can take a look at the information that's related to the operating systems. If it is encrypted by the user partially, let's say that he encrypted only C or D, and what is the method that it is being used in there. Okay. And also an important thing in here that if I click on one of these, you can see the information that is related to the security as well as the encryption date, if there is any error that is related to it. And also you can get the recovery key from here, which is very important. Right, so the last component that I just wanted to show you quickly here is the advanced visualization tool. And when it comes to the advanced visualization tool, let me just here open it again. As I said earlier, it's something that you can use as a service provider in case if you want to do a more advanced query and you want more in-depth visualization of what's happening when it comes for the security events that is being collected. So I guess you can see in here, there is, this is the main dashboard where you can see all the alerts that it's related. For example, the malware in the network hourly, within the last 3 hours, and tell you the details of that. But there's some of the things that you can create using like uh, SQL kind of a query of assigning exactly what's the IP addresses that you're looking for, source, destination, the applications, or a specific event as needed. And then you can filter depending on that. Some of the things that it's available for you in here also, when it comes that we have pre-canned reports, that application control, data access control, and security incidents. So we can take a look at that. Um, for example, it will show you, for example, the IT applications that you have, and this is specific window of time, right? Um, that it's, let's say for 1 week, you can change it for a month or 6 months or a year, and you can take a look at what are the most applications that is being used. And as you can see in here, that for example, the Microsoft Corporation for the applications, the most used 60% of the time. You can see the most frequently executed application, machine running most executed applications, which one, and this will help you also of the seeing the utilization of the application that you have in your network. And by the way, this is like you can click on it and find out what's the thing that is being used in there, like Explorer in there, some other DLL in processes that it's running on the Windows machines. Okay. Also, you can see the vulnerable applications, like for example, Explorer, Excel. These are the information that it's collected also through the patch management or the security of the application itself. You can see the bandwidth consuming applications. This is very useful. Let's say that mostly here Skype, you have Firefox. You can see, how much a megabyte that, that's been used. And as you can see, this is very specific. Windows Server 4, that mainly it's used this. Right. Also, you can see the data access control. This is a very useful to see a visualization of what's going on when it comes to the outbound network traffic, the user activities, the bandwidth consumers, and so on. right? So you can see in here the outbound network, even though that this is being installed in the States, you can see that where is the most communication to. There's portion here in the States, but also, in Europe, United Kingdom, and so on. You can see the bandwidth consumers, right? Chrome is the most when it comes to the percentage, the data for the files that is being accessed, mainly it's PDF files, right? And also you can see the security incidents in there, like malware, potentially unwanted programs, exploits, malware, and so on, that is being executed in here. And you can see also the detailed information of where that happened in which of these machines. And definitely, this is just a very quick overview of this tool. There's much more in there. There's, some of the queries that you can build by yourself on the go to look for a specific information. Okay, so now the last thing that I wanted to mention here, I'm not going to have this one as a demo, but I just wanted you to know that we have it. And for sure, if you have any questions about it or you want to see a demo for a specific project or client, definitely you can reach out. I'm going to talk about system management. It is the RMM tool or remote monitoring management tool that's available for you. It is not under a-tier platform. It would do require another agent, but the main idea is that once that you purchase this, definitely you still can manage the licensing from the same partner center, but when it comes to the configuration, monitoring, and the agent, you need to deploy this agent first, and then you can do the rest of the, like for example, installation of Adaptive Defense 360 a-tier platform agent. So let's take a look at what is Panda Cloud System Management. Mainly, it's a way that to easily and affordably you can manage, monitor, and maintain all of the devices, whether they are in the office or remote. And definitely, it's something that you can provide as a service provider if you want to have that as a part of the service, or that you can be an end user client and you can use this for your environment. Now, definitely why this is useful, and it is one of the most important tool that you must have, because it is cloud hosted. There is no additional infrastructure for you. There is no, some of the other vendors that they require to buy a server internally, but this one, everything the cloud based solution. Manage the devices no matter where they are and from anywhere, and that's very important. And mainly here, you can do remote support, you can manage the devices, you can monitor them, can generate report about them, can take a look at the asset management system or the inventory that you have. So when we start here about the inventory, what are the things that it's going to be available for you? So first of all, you're going to have a list of all the devices in the network. It is not only, definitely when it's licensed, you're going to count how many devices you're going to have this agent installed on. Let's say it is a Windows machine or Mac or Linux or a phone, right? But also you're going to have visibility of other devices that you have in your network, because you can use SNMP in there to find out, what are the networking devices that's available in your network. You're going to have granular visibility of managed devices, definitely up to date with IT environment and changes that you have. You're going to keep track of the hardware and software that you have in use, and that's very important. Some of the challenges and use cases for this, the importance of this information. Now, there's no need to have physical access to the devices, the endpoint, the servers, printers, and so on, to know the status at all time. There's the new devices acquired online, for example. Let's say that you have the end user that he's working from home, he bought something online, you allowed him to do that, then you can actually install the agent and 100% remotely do the rest of the configuration that you need. New hardware and software needs can be tracked in real time. So this is the inventory information. as well as the remote support. So there's a built-in remote access tools that's available for you. You can execute commands, view and manage logs, you can run processes and services, you can edit the registry for sure without disrupting the users. Users can open tickets directly from their laptops or servers for support requests. Definitely some of the challenging use cases for remote support, that's real-time access to the users and their resources is going to be available for you. 100% remote workforce definitely calls for 0% productivity impact. So whenever that, like for example here, whenever that you want to do the remote support, you can use RDP, you can use VNC. With the RDP, you're going to take the session from the end user, but if you're using VNC or you want to do shell scripting, or you want to run a command or SSH to the device, then you can do that in the background, and the user is still, doing the work while that you are investigating what's going on. When it comes to the management, we have here the automation of the maintenance itself, right? So that you can create tasks, that you can deploy any type of application or updates or scripts. There's a portion that is related here to the patch management, but what's included with the system management, patch management, it is only for Windows machine. The one that we talked about earlier, that is part of A tier, that most of the people go for, it is actually more comprehensive because it covers also third-party application beside Windows, and you have it from the point of view of security more than that's just management. Uh, Other things that you can do here is to automate the resolutions for common incidents, where you can create policy to monitor, what's going on, and you can have a script to run whenever that's needed. Agent-free management of printers and other network devices. You have the MDM portion that is also in there. There may be some changes that it's going to be related to that soon, but it's one of the features in there. We also, when it comes to some challenges and cases that's related to the management, is how to automate the most without adding complexity, right? So in this scenario, it's definitely when you have a cloud-based application that is going to enable you to do the deployment, the monitoring, and taking an action from one place. It's something that is going to add on to the service that you're providing to the end user. Monitoring, you can monitor all the devices that you have in your network. You can track the usage of anything that is running on that end user device. You can pre-configure monitors that it can create a ticket for you. You can send alerts or automate the response as needed. When it comes to the reporting, for sure that you can create a list of what's going on in your environment that is going to help the IT team to identify if there is any issues, if there is any redesign that is being needed. You can have the reporting set that it can be global or per site or per device. So when we say per site, it's going to be per client or multiple signs that belongs to the same client. Great. So that was all when it comes to part two of Zero Trust component, where we talked about the different add-on modules, the partner center, and we had a very quick look at, the system management, which is the RMM tool that's available for you. Definitely, we would love to hear from you when it comes to how we did. You have the link here when it comes to the feedback, and we'd love also to have you again on the next session that we're gonna do once a month for Tech Thursday. I'm gonna wait for a few minutes here that you can ask any questions that you will have. Definitely, we can answer the questions as we go. If we run out of time, then definitely I will pull these questions and reach you out directly so that we can answer these questions. Thank you. Okay. So it seems that there is one of the questions in here that's related to licensing. So let me just take a look at that 1 second. Yeah, so the question is related of the term that we have. Is it 1 year or 3 years? So mainly, if you go to the price list, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see 1 year and 3 years licensing. That if you sell directly to the client, or the client can buy directly, through you from the disty. But also, you can take a look at, if you're an MSSP, then you can buy these points, and you can have these points, per month. And it depends on how many months that your contract with the end user, then you can adjust that properly. Definitely there is the co-terming, there's the prorated rate, depending on what is needed in that scenario. If you have any specific project or needs in there, definitely you can send us also an email to canada@watchguard.com, and we can take it from there, and I can involve the sales team as well to answer your questions in more details. Another questions that we have in here is related to the encryption. So we said that it's a BitLocker. Is it possible that if I already have some of the licenses that I already bought directly from Microsoft, to kind of mix and match? The answer is no. You have to to use the licensing that we have from us, and so that you can manage it from the same dashboard. But one of the things that to keep in mind when it comes to the licensing, that you don't need to follow the same thing as the AD360 numbers. So let's say AD360, you have 100, but you wanted only to apply the encryption for 25 users, that they are always, they have the important information, then you can actually just have the encryption for 25 users. Right, so we have 1 minute to take a last question. What about the integration later on with WatchGuard Cloud? So if you're a partner, you would already seen that we have the updates that it's available in WatchGuard Cloud. When it comes to the EPP, EDR, and EPDR, it's matching to the EPP, AD, and AD360, right? There are a couple of components not going to be moved right now into the cloud, but the idea that you can also manage the licensing from one place in the WatchGuard cloud. Right, so that was all the questions that we had. Thank you so much for joining this session, and we hope we see you again for the next session that we have next month. Thank you.